parents out there. Let's keep it on the phones here. We want to bring on the Minority Leader, Senator Telo Taitague. We just really want to catch up with you before we go on break, Senator. So thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
I'm so sad. Good morning, Chris, and good morning, Sabrina. And yes, I'm so sad because, as the minority in this legislature, the majority of any kind of information, I listen to you guys to get that information. Even documents, I'd have to call you guys. Say, hey, can you guys pass it over to the minority side so we can find out what's going on too? But I greatly appreciate everything that you guys have done, and I'm sorely going to miss you so badly. But I hope that if I can get your cell number, because I know the news doesn't stop.
It doesn't,
and
yeah.
we're still in a COVID. The news will continue to go on. Watch KUAM.
Right. You guys are in great hands. We really have the best team. We put the best players out there on the field every day, and just proud of this team.
Yeah, and I just want to recognize that too, because you guys are at the forefront, but it takes a great group of people to give the support that you guys need to put out this information.
I'm just so proud of our team. I'm going to get emotional here again, but from Tomas Manglotnia has been doing some valuable work in the Commonwealth of Northern Marianas Islands. We kind of had a voice there with our previous partners, but he is just really...
They're still a partner. But,
he's kicked it up so much. So he's stepped up tremendously. Nestor Lecanto, just going back with these press conferences, Nestor was just on it, and he's a veteran reporter. And this is the time, the pandemic, where he just really put all that experience... he put it all out there. And then Adriana, who hasn't been a fan of Adriana asking these dagger questions in the press conferences?
Well, there's so much behind the scenes of what you guys are doing, and it's such a successful show that you're putting on.
It's Bree and I out here in front of the iPad and on the radio, but there's a whole army here at KUAM that's standing behind us. Of course, Lacey, our digital team. Our sales team, our management, just fully supportive of us doing this, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, I tell you what, everybody needs a break. You don't want to get burnt out, and
that's not the issue at all. We're not. I can keep burning.
Okay.
I got lighters for days.
We just got plans in store and some changes that we're making, and this is goodbye to containing COVID, but it's the beginning of something else.
Amen.
Well, you're going to have a line of people standing by waiting for you guys to come back on.
Well, that's good. We're excited.
Hear you up. So I hope it's done with rest and family. You definitely need it.
I got to ask you, because we haven't had a chance to bend your ear about this reshuffling, the resignations, the retirements that are going on in the administration. Just wanted to really get your take on it, because there was a lot.
Yeah, quite a bit. And it is what it is. I love that when you say that, Sabrina. I picked that up from you, but it is what it is.
I can't take credit for that.
Unfortunately, that's our gov that coined that one.
Yes, it is what it is, right? No, but I think like any administration, after the first year, there is always some moving around and adjustment. So for me, it's not too alarming. What's alarming is how some people are not let go, who are not doing their job.
That's why I wanted to get you on.
I can name a few.
Right.
But that's the only part. It's not really that much to be concerned about.
So who did you think was going to go that hasn't gone?
Well, Janella, number one. That's really what happened.
It's a crazy world we're living in, Senator. Crazy world.
I'm really surprised, that they had. This is a director of communication to have something out like that. I feel bad for her, but she should have thought of that when we started videoing.
What about the policy director, Carlo Branch? What's your take? Did you think he was going to be one of the guys to go? Because there were rumors that he was, but he's still there.
Yeah, but
I don't think they can afford to lose him.
He's been very quiet lately since we had that procurement oversight hearing.
Right.
And he was trying to be the dictator.
That was so funny.
Yeah, it was really funny. I think there was a big mistake on that end.
Why would they let him in there? He got nothing to do with anything. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that problem. You're letting somebody in there that
and trying to answer for people. That was just nuts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But
hey, but I want to recognize Carlo because he's doing the governor's social media. I don't know if you listened to us yesterday, but I had sent a FOIA to the governor's office trying to find out how much money they're spending on social media advertising, because if you go on the governor's Facebook page, there's like over 50 different ads that, they pay. Well, I thought they paid for it, but the response we got was there are no documents relative to not a single piece of paper.
Wow.
Social media spending. So I spoke with Janella. I said, "What's up with this? I'm looking at Facebook ads right now." And she said, "Oh, Carlo's going to call you." So Carlo called, and then he explained that he's paying for all of the governor's social media spending out of his own personal pocket as a donation to the office of the governor. And so, but if you look at the ads, they all say paid for by office of the governor. I just thought that was kind of weird.
Well, that is kind of weird, because if I'm not mistaken, aren't there rules and laws governing any kind of donation to a governor's office to AdLoop? There is some kind of rules and regs.
That's what, and he said that
can only, like you can't receive any kind of. Well, I have to look at.
Yeah,
that.
research that. But
definitely.
I mean, but I got to give him props, because it's very selfless of him to donate to an administration so already rich.
Probably because he's getting paid a whole lot.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's like, hey, we're going to pay you 80 grand or whatever, but minus 5 for social media advertising.
Right.
So on that note, let's jump into your bill. You got this bill that we saw.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want to take too much time, since it is your last show for a while, and I know there's a lot of people who would like to get on before me, but basically it's a bill that was introduced by myself and my co-sponsors, is Treat Terlahi, James Moylan, and Joe San Augustine. And this bill basically is to clear up any loopholes that the governor feels that she has the authority to spend unappropriated funds or excess revenue from the general fund. And, that you've got these two articles, Article 9 that creates a rainy day fund, and then you have another article that's in Article 4, which talks about the amount of being appropriated in a rainy day fund. So basically, the red flag on the field happened when, in December, remember when we all started putting out bills from the excess revenue from FY19, right? Yeah. And of course, one of mine was the roads. I've always been advocating to repair the roads. And it was then that around February where the governor mentioned that she was going to use this excess revenue for any shortfalls in 2020. And then it was in the media, several media outlets, that she announced this. And I was thinking, wait a minute, what gives her the authority to do this? Right. To spend it. So I sent a letter to her office and asking, where is it cited in the law that allows you to do this? So she cites Article 4, 22436, which talks about the cap on appropriating money into the rainy day fund. And it talks about certain tax refunds, EITC, prior year obligation, vendor obligations, but it doesn't really say it has to be appropriated by the legislature. But however, in Article 9, which creates the rainy day fund, it's clear that it says the legislature must appropriate any funds coming from the rainy day fund to pay for prior year, to pay for all this. Right. So there's the loophole they found to put their hand in the cookie jar and start spending that money. So what this bill is going to do is make it clear, very clear in the section that they cited, both her and the Attorney General. And what's ironic, I just wanted to see what would happen, but I sensed the opinion from the governor's office.
Maybe the problem was it was from the former legal counsel. Faulty. It was a faulty opinion.
Probably. Yeah, it was, because I didn't get I got a response from there in February. I think it was February or March. But I sent this opinion to the same thing that they cited to Leave and Camacho, just to see if they're going to cite the same thing and everything. So they did. They cited the same thing as the governor's
Lockstep.
office.
That's what you call lockstep.
Yeah, but according to our legal opinion at the legislature, no, it doesn't give her the authority. But it is inconsistent in the law. It gives them that loophole. So what my bill will do is clearly make it clear that you cannot go into the cookie jar and start spending this money, this rainy day fund, without legislative approval, which was what it was created for in the first place.
Right, and wasn't there a law or something with the from Senator Taitague that's $10 million for the hospital that was
exactly
right, and then did they ever get the $10 million?
No,
they didn't. Yeah, that's absolutely crazy that our senators can pass a law giving $10 million to the hospital, but the governor can just decide that she don't want to give it, and that's that. Isn't that crazy? Just the disrespect of law. It's nuts.
It's not only a disrespect of law, but where is the teeth in it when a governor is using funding that she's not allowed to use or using spending? Where is the teeth in that? What is it? Slap
where's
in
the teeth with the AG? I mean, it's just like, yeah, go for it, Gov. Take more.
Exactly. And there's nothing in there to take this. Now, I did have a good conversation with our legal department, and that is to be able to, this bill, if this bill has a public hearing, Chris and Sabrina, then this bill is going to call them out and find out where, because we can't get any answers.
Right.
How much money is in the rainy day fund, Mr. Byrne? Well, he said there was zero back in, I think it was February or January. There was zero. And then all of a sudden when they came back, there's $3 million, and they've taken money out of the rainy day fund to pay for tax refunds.
Senator, let me get in real quick. We're KUAM FM, Agotni, Guam. It's I-94, Guam's favorite, the KUAM News Takeover, the last show of Containing COVID. It's Thursday, July 2nd. Good morning to our viewers on KUAM TV 11 and our viewers on KUAM News' Facebook page. That's an Edward R. Murrow award-winning social media network. Also, there's a audio stream, Docomo Channel 10, and on the line now, we are checking in and breaking bread with the Minority Leader, Senator Telo Taitague, who's talking about a bill she has that would put some teeth in. Well, go ahead. You say it best.
Yeah, it'll clarify the priority of this account that's created, the rainy day fund, and also the priority of what or who has the authority on any excess revenue. It all boils down to who has the authority to spend or appropriate any money for this excess revenue. Because FY19, they said we had 27 million, then it said 23 million, now it's 17. And we're waiting for BJ, the OPA, to issue out his report on the excess revenue. And I'm still waiting for that, but he just announced that there's been a delay again because they're waiting for Guam Housing Authority to submit some documents there. And it'll show, according to his audit report, will show how much excess revenue is in there. But, it's obvious that both these bills, Article 4 and Article 9, the creation of the Rainy Day Fund, which is Article 9, clearly states that the legislature must appropriate any excess revenue. However, in Article 4, it just talks about the cap, how much is in there and what it's going to be spent for. So it's contradictive. And this, I'm hoping this legislation will clear it out, because we're sure not getting any answers there. And my hope and pray that anybody listening out there, if you know the record of us, our Republican senators who issue out legislation, introduce bills, sometimes our bills don't even go to a committee. It stays in committee of rules for months and months before it's even given to a committee chair.
Well, guess what?
Here.
No more rules chair.
Point of personal
privilege. Point of personal privilege. The rules chair is
out
the door.
Do you think you're even going to get a public hearing?
Rules chair is out the door. Point of personal privilege.
So I'm asking the public, because it's obvious that the public does have the power, and people have to realize that they do have the power. They have the power on voting.
We got the power.
Oh yeah, sing it. Don't get me started.
I need to get a part-time job as a singer.
But they do have the power to call your senators, to send letters, to go on the media, to talk on your show. Hey, let's hear this bill. Let's hear what's going on. Let's finally get to the bottom of this bill. And will it come down to a declaratory judgment? Will it spark an oversight hearing for the Department of Administration or the governor's office? Well, this legislature, which is majority Democrats, they need to have some oversight. They need to ask the hard questions. Yep. They need to go out and tell the people of Guam accountability and transparency is what we are. And we're not seeing that. We are not seeing that. until the senators start having these oversight hearings on the spending of their tax-paying dollars, we're not going to know anything, and it's going to be slipped under the rug. We're doing what we can and pushing these bills and trying to find get the transparency out to get the answers answered.
Well, you know what, Senator? There's so many things under the rug, it looks like a mountain.
It does. I can't get my vacuum over it. It's just what the, so I'm asking the public please to help, and your voice is so important. It was during COVID. You guys, every time a subject matter would come up, we would get emails, from constituents and the people, the community reaching out and saying, yeah, well, I'm going to do my part. I'm going to be a part of this community. I might not be a senator or a governor or anything, but I'm going to do my part. And my part is to write that email to say, yes, let's have an oversight hearing on the spending of this excess revenue that's been going out. Find out whose hand is in the cookie jar. That should not be there.
Thank you, Senator.
Okay, well, thank you, too. And I so look forward to you guys coming back. And if there's anything else you need from me, please send all your research team. And, again, kudos to the people behind the scenes who've made this program such a success.
Thank you so much, Senator. Wash your hands.
Care.
Okay.
Will do. Wash hands, feet, and everything else.
Okay. Yeah, you guys, don't forget to wash your hands while we're gone. I hope you remember. Who's going to tell you to wash your hands?
We'll make some PSAs. Yeah,
we will. It's 8:09. We're going to take a short break. We're coming back with the superintendent of the Guam Department of Education. You guys want to listen to this, especially public school parents. A lot of info coming your way next on the KUAM News Takeover, Guam's favorite, containing COVID. Good morning.
Keeping you informed, KUAM News brings you Banking 671.